a moment to imagine someone who will stop at nothing to steal your life. The film Homewrecker portrays the complexities of such relationships. Kenzie, an ambitious lawyer, is envious of the life of her successful colleague, Tamara Olifant, and she is determined to outdo her. Now, without sharing too much information, we're joined by the brains behind the production, Stephina, Zwane-Groenewald and Salamina, Mosese. But before we chat to them, let's take a look at the trailer of the movie.
I'll go and have a fire.
It's a big meeting tomorrow, baby. Are you ready?
You just believe in me, even when I don't believe in myself.
I'll always believe in you.
Everyone, this is Kenzie Mayeni. She's been transferred from our Durban branch. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kenzie?
Yeah.
This is my boyfriend.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
I know her. We go way back.
So when's the wedding?
No, I have a lot of things happening in my life and work is quite demanding.
Oh, you're running for partner.
May the best woman win.
Tamara couldn't make it. She had a personal errand she had to run, so she asked me to stand in for her. Can't wait to see you. Love, C.
I just remembered, see Kenzie later for a catch-up session.
What happened to all of us having lunch together?
Oh, baby, we'll be catching up on old stuff. I didn't think you'd want to get left out on our conversation.
I trust him.
It's her.
You guys must have hung out a lot.
We just hang out in his apartment for hours, just talking.
Man, I've got a bad feeling about Kenzie. If you can't trust her, I certainly can't.
Ooh, that's what people will be doing if they would just watch that trailer, let alone watch the movie. Ladies, you're onto something here. Stephina, Salamina, thank you so much for coming in. Already, I know that's something that I want to watch, and luckily, it'll be available on Netflix, so everybody can watch it. Well, it seems like everybody can watch it. Let's go back to the very start of A Homewrecker. Salamina, you're the producer. Talk to us where all of the start, the genesis of this movie.
So Stephina and I own a production company together, Sorrel Media. And whenever we come up with concepts, it's really to try and see how best do we make this film. So it's the fundraising aspect and then the casting and putting the crew together. Steph wrote a fantastic script. This actually came after we did Baby Mamas, much lighter comedy drama film, right?
Completely different vibe.
Different. But we really wanted to challenge ourselves. I think as storytellers, the worst thing you can do is box yourself to only doing one type of thing. So we wanted a racy film, a mystery drama, something that hasn't been done a lot in South Africa, and having two female protagonists running the whole thing. So when Steph wrote the script, she directs our films, it was really just to create the sort of environment that you know, one needs to be able to bring all these elements together and have a homewrecker made. We were actually shooting during lockdown, so it was a tough production.
Goodness.
2021.
We'll talk about that atmosphere way back then, because I know making films would have been very, very difficult at the time, and the industry was really on its knees. Stephina, let's talk about the storyline now. And I immediately started watching the opening seconds. I said, this is black, single, white, female. Only cooler. Tell us about the inspiration behind the story. Do we want to know what the real inspiration was behind it?
You know, as creatives and as storytellers, we are also very good listeners. So when people tell us
eavesdroppers.
Eavesdroppers, when somebody comes to, you know, they want you to be a shoulder to cry on, you're like, yes.
Taking notes for future projects.
You're just like, yeah. But this was also a combination of just lived experience and knowing other people who've gone through some bits that are similar. And I was like, wait, man. You know, we love telling very wholesome stories, i.e. Baby Mamas. Let's stretch ourselves and see how best can we tell this story that is so outside of what we're used to. We, the comedy people, we like to laugh, but we love watching such stories. And when we look back and we were able to pinpoint when somebody tried to steal our lives, or you know of a friend who tried to do the same or who experienced it, we're like, let's turn this into a film.
And it very much taps into the voyeuristic side of us. And we do know everybody likes a little scandal and a little gossip and a skinner. I mean, I watch on a Monday, one of my favorite things to go on Instagram is to follow Lesego Tlabi does the series of, okay, tell me your dirty secrets. And the stories that come out and what people have also lived through. You know, obviously it's like, oh, wow, popcorn, but also, oh, how sad. What is it about that voyeuristic thing that is it about saying, well, at least my life isn't that bad and I haven't made such bad decisions? What do you think it taps into?
Look, we all like to think that our lives are better than somebody else's, right? And then when you do hear such stories, you're like, actually, yeah, no, I complain too much. Please forgive me. But I think also what was important with us telling this story is to also show that women are not a monolith. You know, we have different aspects of ourselves. Sometimes we're good, sometimes we're not so good. Sometimes we are the jealous ones when you're watching somebody who seems to have it all and you don't. And sometimes you're on the receiving side of that. So it's important to tell that story, that we're not just one dimensional.
Salamina, it must have been very key then to get the right cast together for that. And I mean, and as much as it's fabulous doing the popcorn munching, wholesome family rom-coms, this must have been a really great film for the cast to sink their teeth into. But casting the so-called bad guy was probably the most important one. How did you set about putting that cast together?
It's the casting process was in itself a story for a different interview. But finding Latoya Magena Pumulo was, you know, we auditioned her and then we sort of went back to the drawing board trying to change, you know, we thought of having an international actress. But each time we kept coming back to Latoya's audition.
Because the chemistry is key, isn't it?
Wow. And then when eNCA entered and we put them on screen together, we were like, it's done. These are the leading ladies. I think anytime you have to cast the villain, we almost think of villain as a male character.
Absolutely.
So when Latoya showed us what she could do just at audition phase, we were super excited. And then the combination of the two of them, eNCA has a light, you know, even the poster you can see we played with that light and dark kind of, you know, thing. So really the acting part builds the story and just colors it in. And that's when we see it come to life when we shoot it.
Let's talk a little bit about how important it was for both of you, seeing as it was a female-led production. The theme of the story, the storyline is female-led as well. It could very easily have been, oh, this is a cat fight kind of story, which we always have a problem with, don't we? Because it doesn't get treated properly if it's not led in the right direction by females. How important was it for both of those characters to have complex and deeper story arcs? Let's start with you, Stephina.
No, it was super important. In as much as Latoya's character, Kenzie, is dark, is evil, is all those things, we also needed to sort of explain why, you know.
Her pain.
Her pain, exactly.
Yeah.
And then even with Tamara having to fight back, she also needed to get to a point where she, you know, sometimes you go through issues in life and you don't know how strong you are until you have to be strong. So she also then, that character also needed to be grounded in that, in discovering just how strong she can be. So we're always about ensuring that in whatever story we tell, the characters still are empowered in whatever way that is, in a way, still true to the story that's being told. So that was also very important to us.
And as actresses ourselves, I mean, we were actresses in our former life, but it's important that we move away from showing characters as one-dimensional. These women are loving and can be cold. They are deceptive, but are also ambitious and successful. And we wanted to play with all of these elements because that's important. And I think for actors as well, sinking their teeth into characters like this is so exciting. And that's where the magic happens.
The movie is called called Homewrecker. Salamina, tell us very quickly where people can watch it if they do.
So we will be on Netflix. It's launching exclusively there.
This week, yeah.
This week. Date 7 July.
Okay.
Please lock and add it to your watch list. We're really excited to share
It's
this.
the kind of movie that I think people, friend groups are going to say, right, guys, we're going to watch this at this time.
Watch party.
And then they're going to be on WhatsApp, you know, because that's how we all watch
people.
TV these days.
Yeah, people will have already planning watch
parties.
with their
That's the word.
own
I'm so
friends.
old, sorry.
So are we, don't worry.
Okay, so the movie is called Homewrecker, coming out on the 7th of July. With us in the studio, the director, Stephina Zwane-Groenewald, and the producer, Salamina Mosese. Oh, what a lekker movie that looks like, especially on a cold winter's night.
Yes.
To keep you warm. Thank you so much for coming in
Thank you for
this
having
morning.
us.
We really appreciate it. All the best to the cast and the team behind this fantastic new film.